All right, welcome back to Wild Slow Living. And today I want to talk about bringing your dreams from this idea that we have in our head and taking them and making them a reality. And I want to talk about kind of the struggles that I may have faced in my process of creating my business and creating all of these different avenues and sources of income, and the struggles that I had and I've had to kind of navigate, and I'm still continuing to navigate as I run a business. And when chasing your dreams, I know it's so tough because there are 1,000 things in your mind that need to get done and need to happen for your business to be successful. And at times, for me, it just feels kind of like noise. And it's very easy to get lost in all of the details and to get stuck in perfectionism. So my advice to you is to find your North Star. So my North Star is my wellness center. That has been something that's been on my mind and my heart for a very, very long time. And that's what I ultimately want to create. But as I'm on that journey to creating that wellness center, I don't want to forget this experience in this present moment, because really that is ultimately all that there is. There is no past and there is no future. Everything that is happening now. And it's so important to remember that, because when you are owning a business, it is very easy to get stuck in that future mindset of like, oh, I'm going to be so happy or fulfilled when I reach this point or this financial, milestone. But the reality is if you're not enjoying the journey, the day to day, your business is not going to thrive and it's not going to survive. And a key example of that is my fiber art business. I am very passionate about fiber art, and I think the reason I am so passionate about it is because it connects very well to my values, and it connected to my values very well for a very long time. When I first had my daughter, I needed to find kind of an outlet for myself to be, putting my time towards. When you become a mother, your whole entire world and your whole entire life just shifts. And you have to form basically like a new identity, who you are now as a mom, because who you are before is not going to be who you are ever again, if that makes sense. So when I became a mom, I found Punch Needle, and oh man, it just was exactly what I needed at that time in my life. And I think that's something that we all need to remember, is that the process of getting to that big goal and dream is going to be ever changing and ever flowing. And we can't get hung up and angry at ourselves when we realize that there is a piece of our life that was like deeply ingrained in who we were, and the image that that other people see for us, and we can't get caught up in that. Because if you get stuck in that's going to limit you. And I don't want to say that you need to, be okay with quitting, because I think quitting and having a realization and understanding of what is in alignment for you are two very different things. Quitting for me is giving up when it gets hard, and choosing to move on from something, I think, is more of a internal alignment perspective. So knowing that whatever it may be in your life, whether it's a relationship or a career or a business, may no longer be in alignment with your values, and that is totally okay. and then to, move on from that and find out what those next steps may be. So when I am looking at next steps, I want to tune into myself, and I encourage you to tune into yourself as well, because if you're not tuned in with your values, then you are kind of just floating through life without direction and without that North Star. And so it's going to be a much more difficult, I see in my mind kind of like this path that's just like, and for a point in life, I think that's fine. And I think that's fun, just making mistakes and getting messy. But when it comes to really honing in on what you want and getting there, having that understanding of your values is vital. So for me, when I think of my values, I think of connection. Connection is kind of like my foundation for everything. I want to be connected to myself. I want to be connected to the earth around me, and I want to be connected to others. And my family is, of course, very important to me. Nature is very important to me. And using my hands is very important to me. I'm a very tactile, textures. That's how I learn, and that's where I thrive. There's something about that just provides me with like a warm, fuzzy feeling on the inside. And for me, fiber art, when I had my daughter, it ticked all those boxes. It made sense. And when she went down for a nap, I was able to get work done, and I just was able to get in that state of flow and get things done and build my business and get to a point, where I was making commissions for stores and homes and getting commissions on a regular basis. It was very exciting. But then I got to a point where it just didn't make sense for my life anymore as much. It was no longer fitting into the family values of my life. I was feeling very frustrated most of the time, because with social media there is this immediacy, like the instant gratification of people having to continuously consume your content. And all of my crafts that I'm drawn to are very slow crafts. So it was very defeating for me to be working extremely hard on a piece and there be minimal progress. And when you're feeling like you're making minimal progress, and then you also feel the pressure to post on a platform and show your progress, and I want to provide people value, that wasn't going to be what got me to my goal. It was basically a stepping stone to get there. Like I was saying, my love for plants has always been prevalent. All the art that I've ever created, it all revolves around plants. And so I think it was really just a very natural thing for it to kind of progress to where it's at right now. But I wanted to tap into the things that I love and the things that I want to learn. I want to learn about herbalism. I want to learn about foraging and natural dye and pigment making and soap making. Like I want to soak up all the information, and I want to share all the information and make it easily accessible for others, and encourage others that like it's very, very possible to just start and to not get hung up on all the details and the nitty-gritty, because sometimes just getting your foot out the door and like making that first step of like faith of like, okay, today I'm going to learn about this, dyeing with black beans, or I'm going to learn, last night I was learning all about wild lettuce, this morning I was learning all about chicory, and just making the conscious effort to really be focused in a world that is designed to keep us pinging from one thing to the next. You have to have a level of dedication and determination to learn and to be a sponge and take the time to learn. So finding your values, taking the time to sit with yourself and really ask, okay, what's important to me? Do I want freedom? Do I want time for my family? Do I want money? Do I want to be able to move and live wherever I please? Connecting to that and finding out what that is for you and not judging yourself for anything that you decide is a value for yourself is totally vital to being able to take your dreams and make them a reality. So another thing that I think is really important is tuning into your energy. I very, very easily, and it's very prevalent to me when I'm feeling drained. And that to me is a kind of like a compass for telling me when I'm in the wrong direction. And if I'm feeling drained, if I'm feeling exhausted, if I'm feeling burnt out, if I'm feeling super negative and I'm feeling like in a funk, I know something needs to change. And that's kind of a red flag for me to be like, okay, Laura, what is it about this that isn't resonating with you? Is it taking away from one of your values? Is this just something difficult that you kind of need there's a little hurdle, knowing that that's temporary and it's a piece of that puzzle, but then also trying to find joy in that creation process as well, even if it's not my most favorite thing to do. So listening to your body, and when you're feeling burnt out, when you're feeling tired, depressed, angry, frustrated, all of those things are red flags to kind of give you more insight into what path you should be taking. The last thing that I want to say is don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to be a student. It's okay to be in a stage of learning, in a stage of development and growth. We don't have to be perfect. And when we fear what other people are going to think of us or how they're going to judge us, if we make a mistake, then it's going to be very hard for you to move forward and to create that dream that you have for yourself. You have to really hone in on you and what's important to you and your values, and have that be that North Star. Otherwise, it's very easy to kind of just follow the path that everyone else wants for you. You don't have to be perfect in any way, shape, or form, because perfection really is just an illusion, if you ask me. So hopefully that gives you some insights in how you can have some direction to really take all of your passions and dreams, or some of your passions and dreams, and make them a reality. Is basically just tuning into yourself and listening to your first, connecting with those values, and then troubleshooting, saying, okay, this seems like something really interesting to me. I would really like to dive into this more. Dive in, connect back to yourself, say, all right, I did this. How did that feel? Did I really like that? Did that give me more energy? Did that make me feel stressed, frustrated? Those are all the questions that you need to be asking yourself when you begin down a path. I hope that helps. And if you guys have any topics that you want me to talk about and kind of just blabber on about, please let me know in the comments, and I'm more than happy to make a video for you guys with my thoughts.